5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Liftoff, and the clock has started.
Kevin Bailey, 46, butter knife.
Brandon Brown, 44, guardrail. 37,
Swimmers. Henry Richard, 57, high heels.
Respect.
Coming down 69, switch hitter.
Switch hitter, respect.
Let's go to 43, break.
Rick.
6, Rooney.
Rooney, respect.
David Smelser, 42, Christopher.
Christopher.
Will Smelser, 10, Cheetah Boy.
Cheetah Boy.
Brown, 16, median.
Median.
Jason 43, Honeydew.
Honeydew.
Brian Jason, 40, Windex.
Windex.
David Bodie, 35, Black.
Blindside.
1 Windows, 31, Lamper.
Lamper.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Good morning and happy Monday, F3 Knoxville. Hope everyone is ready for a great week. This is Steam Comms Q for F3 Knoxville, and I am riding solo today on the F3 Knoxville podcast. Some of our team is traveling this week. Some of our team had work commitments. And so we are rolling right through and going to push through a hopefully great episode of the weekly launch point. Where we're going to bring you all of the points, all of the things that are going around our region in terms of TCLAPs, leadership content, new challenges for the month, talk about flag handoffs and plants and growth, all of that good stuff today in a shorter but hopefully still sweet episode. So, welcome to the new week. Hope everyone has had a great entry and launch point into the week so far. Maybe you've posted this morning already, which is great. Hope you endured the cold with some brothers. And if you haven't, there are still plenty of opportunities to make the HC and post for the rest of the week. And we have a great lineup of content that Kickflip has put in the weekly newsletter that I'll run down for us this week. So without further ado, let's dive on in. All right, gentlemen, we're going to start with some TCLAPs because all of the awesome things that you guys are doing out in the gloom, out beyond the COT, and out in your spheres of influence is worth celebrating. So we have some TCLAPs that I want to share with the region that Kickflip put in the newsletter that has hit your inbox as of Sunday. So if you have not seen it yet, go check it out. There's some great content. But we got some TCLAPs to give out, starting with the F3 Knoxville 2023 Man of Iron, Catgut. He had the best cumulative score of all 4 Iron Packs workouts. Strong work, brother. Great job. If you've not met Catgut, we're not sure if he's superhuman or just human and is just super along the way. This guy is incredible. He has crushed the Iron Packs workouts year after year. Man, you just absolutely dominated it this past year. So TCLAPs to our 2023 Man of Iron, Catgut. Also, we love when guys step up to lead. That is a practice in virtuous leadership. And so Comfort Zone actually got out of his comfort zone and got his VQ at the project last Tuesday. So he led his first F3 workout at the project. Comfort Zone, great job, brother. Thank you for getting out of your comfort zone to invigorate leadership and the men around you. And then TCLAPs to Betty. So last week, you heard us talk about this for, I think, a couple weeks back too. But TCLAPs to Betty, who is the former Shamrock AOQ. But he is leading and spearheading a OTB workout in Carnes on Wednesdays. And so we had a strong showing of guys, all the men who attended, a recon and OTB workout in Carnes last Wednesday. Was awesome. It was a great showing. We had one FNG as well. And actually, it's going to pick back up this Wednesday. So this Wednesday at 5:30 at Grace Christian Academy, you can join these guys in the gloom as we launch an OTB workout recon plan. to hopefully plant a flag out in Karns. So if you are in the Karns area, and we'd love to see you out there. We'd love to have you invite some guys out there to be with us. I'm sure there are men and families that need F3 out in the Karns area. Rolling right into some key dates and things that have been going on around our region in terms of scheduling. So last night, if you did not know, we have a SLT. It's a shared leadership team. It is comprised up of your Nantan kickflip, your first, your second, your third FQs. So that is OnStar, that is Mermaid, that is Ocho, your comms Q, which yours truly. And then you also have your AOQs, so all the guys that are spearheading and leading our sites where F3 happens throughout the week. You have your Tech Q, Wanderer, you have your Treasure Q, Wax Job, and so it's a team of guys that have stepped up and really volunteered to help lead and steward what is going on in F3 Knoxville. You also have, I'm sorry if I'm forgetting anyone, you have your Veterans Outreach Q, Soot. We also have our new Ruck Q Blindside in there as well, doing some awesome things in the rucking community. And so we have our Weasel Shaker, Pele, in there as well. And so we have some great guys in there that have said, hey, I'll help and steward the awesome things that are going on in F3 Knoxville. So we met last night as a team, and we're excited to roll out some information that we have going into the rest of the year. Everything from our 8-year Convergence / Olympics, which is coming up in November. You'll hear more about that later. All the way to looking at Christmas parades later on this year. So we get together and plan some things that will hopefully invigorate leadership and strengthen our fitness, fellowship, and faith as a region. So that happened last night. There is also a F3 Foundations Invigorate Live on October 10th. At 8 p.m. And so F3 Nation has put out some information about this on their YouTube, on their Facebook. But what it is essentially is there are 8 finalists selected from F3 regions throughout the country will compete in a March Madness bracket playoff format to win our vote, so your vote as a F3 member, and take home a $10,000 grant to accelerate their local charitable impact. So there's a link in the newsletter that you can check it out. And you can check out some of those causes, those finalists that are vying for that $10,000 reward, so they can take that back and give it away to charitable contributions and impacts within their own regions. Like I mentioned before, there is another OTB workout at Karns at 5:30 a.m. this Wednesday, October 11th, at Grace Christian Church or Grace Christian Academy in Karns. Betty is spearheading that. If you have questions, there is a Slack channel that you can join if you are in that area, around that area, want to know more about those workouts. It is Karns-OTB if you want to know more. Check out that channel on Slack or reach out to Betty. Then there is also a shovel flag plant called Nomad. You heard that right, Nomad. On October 14th, we will plant an AO called Nomad. Why it is called Nomad is this AO will move around and be free to do any kind of beatdown anywhere in Roane County. The AOQ is Lucille for this, and so he is spearheading this for us in Roane County, and I think this is a great idea. I think it's a really unique idea. When some of the Rampart guys were telling me about this, I think it just makes sense because what this flag will do is it'll travel around Roane County and reach guys that may not have an opportunity to come out to F3 during the week because it's too far from their house. They have to get to work early, and so we're taking F3 to them, F3 around Roane County in a various fashion. So it's going to be really cool. You'll see more information on that. Shout out to Lucille for spearheading the Nomad shovel flag plant, which will happen on October 14th. And then we also have Biggest Loser. So that is a weight loss challenge that is coming up. That is going to start later this month. So there will be an initial weigh-in on October 16th. And this challenge will run all the way through December 1st. So the way out will be on December 1st. There is a channel in Slack if you want to participate in this. So it is the channel called The Biggest Loser in Slack. Check that out. Mermaid is spearheading this as well. And essentially, this is a anti-shame type of challenge, guys. Like, we all start at F3 in different positions, at different spots in our life, and we all need to lose weight to some degree, right? We're always shedding layers off. We're always looking to get better physically. And so, man, if this is something that is attractive to you, that you want to compete with other guys and lock shields with them as they're trying to lose weight and accelerate their fitness, we'd love to invite you to be a part of that. So reach out to Mermaid for questions or check out that channel on Slack, The Biggest Loser, October 16th through December 1st. We're excited to see the results and the growth and the acceleration of men's fitness goals as we kick this off. Now, also in the newsletter, you will see a very small blurb about this, but it is a very massively large event that we put on every year. This is Brolympics 4, otherwise known as our 8-year anniversary convergence. So if you did not know, F3 Knoxville has been around in Knoxville for almost 8 years. And we have been doing this thing called Brolympics for the past 3 or 4 times that we've had these convergences, as we've celebrated the impact, the influence, and just the ultimate outreach that F3 has in the Knoxville area. And so what we're going to do, there are limited details right now. You'll see more of this come out from OnStar. He is spearheading this and leading this and doing a tremendous job of putting together an awesome event for our region as we celebrate our 8-year anniversary in Knoxville and also run this awesome Brolympics event. It will be November 4th on a Saturday. It will be at the Asylum AO, so where our Asylum PM, AM, and Daybreak workouts are at Lakeshore Park. It'll be at the Asylum AO. You do not want to miss this. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. If F3 has impacted you, your family, your friends, if you're listening to this podcast or have been working out with F3, it has, whether you realize it or not. This is an event towards the end of the year that you do not want to miss. It is an opportunity to celebrate really 8 years of men's lives being changed in Knoxville because of F3 and because of what God is doing in and through F3. And there's also an opportunity to push yourself, to challenge yourself by competing with other F3 guys in a Olympic-style fashion called Brolympics. It is an awesome, awesome time. You'll see more information come out about this, but would strongly encourage you to block off that date, Saturday, November 4th, at Lakeshore Park, a.k.a. the Asylum. All right, so we have some great Q-Source content coming for you this week, things to think about, things to ponder, things to journal about, things to hopefully invigorate your fitness fellowship and faith. But what I want to do before we get into any of that is just talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you have seen on Slack, that you've seen on the emails that the Kickflip has been sending out as well, because we have some really cool things that are coming out that you can challenge yourself by in the month of October and the guys around you. So number one, we have the Accelerate Your King, the U versus U workout number 4. Each AO is going to be offering this once in the month of October. So we did this workout previously, if you remember, earlier in this year. And so now this is round 2. You can see the entire workout in the email that Kickflip sent out. Your AOQs will be running this workout at some point in time in October. And like the name says, it is a U versus U workout to see how much progress you have gained, how hard you've been working since the last time we did this workout earlier this year. And it's a really, really great workout. There is trackable data that is attached to this, so you can track your records and track your metrics as you go through this workout. OnStar is putting all that together, so that is a awesome thing to accelerate your fitness this month. And then we also have a third F challenge. So a third F challenge. Ocho is our third FQ. He is crushing it. in terms of leading our region in third F efforts, really getting guys to think differently about their faith. What does that look like in real life application in your typical day, your typical week, your typical month or year, right? And so here's the third F challenge for October. This month, he wants to challenge the men of F3 Knoxville to set aside at least one day to take your pastor or one of your pastors out for coffee or lunch. But there's going to be a intentional assignment behind this appointment. So as you take out your pastor or one of your pastors at your church for lunch or coffee this month, what we want to encourage you to do with this challenge is thank your pastor for their labors in caring for your soul. Man, if you know any pastors in your life, if you're close with a pastor, you know that they carry a very large weight and responsibility with shepherding the people that come to their church and their staff and their families. So take an intentional moment to just thank them for the work that they're doing to care for your soul and the souls of the community around you. You also want to ask your pastor for personal counsel on what you can do to grow in your faith. So this is a unique opportunity not only to intentionally spend time with a pastor at your church and really show gratitude, thank them for what they're doing. It's not just a Sunday job. It's very visible on Sundays, right, if they're preaching, but shepherding a entire community or entire church takes 7 days a week. And so thank them for that, but also take some time to ask them, hey, what can I do to improve and grow in my faith? And I think some of the answers that the guys will get will be different across the board, which is good. But it'll be really interesting to just have that question asked and see how they respond across different churches and pastoral conversations. So that is a great challenge, Ocho. Thanks for putting that out there, man. We have a ton of faithful pastors who are in the ranks of our B-Towns at F3, actually. Many of you know them. And so for those in ministry who may not have a pastor of their own, find an older pastor or a mentor you respect at another church, even one of our pastors that we have in F3, and do the same thing. The point here is to find a shepherd, encourage them, and be encouraged by them as well about your own spiritual growth. And so here's a challenge. So if you want to take this a little bit further, Ocho has issued a challenge 2.0 for this as well. If you want to level up this challenge, do it more than once. Do it with several pastors. Take an F3 pastor out, one of the guys that you work out with that may be involved in the church or maybe a pastor in the church. Do this with as many spiritual influencers as you can fit in your schedule. You need to be challenged to grow, and pastors are set apart for that work. So shout out to Ocho for that. This is going to be really cool to see what kind of responses we get from pastors as you thank them for their work, but also ask them for feedback and insight and wisdom and how you can continue to accelerate and grow in your spiritual faith-based journey. So that is a great challenge from Ocho, so thank you for doing that, man. Hey, also a quick plug into Forge. Some of our team have put together a backblast, if you will, of Forge that recaps some of the event from a 90,000-foot view. Obviously, there is not every single detail in there. You'll have to come to Forge 2024 for that. Spoiler alert. Hopefully it is happening. We are well on track based on some of the feedback, some of the awesome things that guys have experienced at Forge this year to be able to offer Forge in 2024. So there's not going to be every single detail about Forge in the backblast, but you'll see pictures, you'll see videos, you'll see content from some of our speakers at Forge this year that you can take to your AOs and to your sphere of influence, and it gives you a really good recap of the event. So check that out. It's in the weekly email. You'll also see some links in there to our Facebook page where you can check out some of the photos and videos from Forge. We have some guys that have given some reviews of Forge, which is awesome, just about their experience. Hey, what was it like? What did you take away? What would you say to guys that are thinking about going next year? So check that out. It is also, just so everyone knows, all of this information, including the backblast, is in the announcements channel. So if you go to hashtag announcements. It's in that channel for you, just so you can go ahead and read that for yourself too. So thank you for coming to Forge if you were there, and thanks for all the guys, OnStar, Dung Beetle, Brick, guys that spoke and led and led from wholeheartedness. It was really, really cool to see that. Alrighty, gentlemen. Well, I have one last thing for you this week. As we get into the week, we're going to talk about leadership. And we're reading from the Q Source this week, and we are in Q Source Q3.12. So 3.12 is about courage. And so what the content for this week is going to be about is setting aside fear to turn hardship into grace. So setting aside fear to turn hardship into grace. Now, I'll be the first to admit, setting aside fear and hardship and actually practicing grace is not an easy thing for me. That is not something that comes naturally to me or any of us, I believe. But here's what the Q Source says about setting aside fear to turn hardship into grace. Number one, fear is a natural state that can and must be governed. So fear is a natural state that can and must be governed. Number two, fatigue makes cowards of us all. Fatigue makes cowards of us all. And then number three, grace is keeping your head when everyone around you is losing theirs and blaming it on you. Number three, grace is keeping your head when everyone around you is losing theirs and blaming it on you. So unfortunately, I do not have my conversational co-pilots, Blindside and OnStar, to offer their wisdom, which they offer some awesome wisdom when we talk about the Q Source every week. About these items. But here is the challenge. Rather than hear me talk about the Q Source content for the next 5 to 7 minutes, I would love to challenge and encourage you, take this content. You can find it in the email. I'll post the link to this Q Source content in the podcast episode as well. Take this and talk about it at your AOs this week. Maybe you're in a shield lock. Talk about it with those guys. Maybe you're in a group at church or in another community. Take this and find out how you can apply it to your everyday life, and have some conversations about this. Because here are 3 questions you can ask yourself, I can ask myself, and we can ask ourselves as high impact men this week. Number 1, does courage require the absence of fear? Number 2, can an unfit man be brave? And number 3, what is grace? So, as typical with the Q Source, these are not easy answers. These are not, oh, yep, know that answer right off the bat. That is not the case typically with Q Source content. These questions, this content is designed to make you think about your own personal journey and your fitness, your fellowship, and your faith, and how you are invigorating leadership, not just for yourself, but for others around you. So the beauty of these comes from the conversations, not from anything we share here, but it comes from you taking this and applying it to your life and encouraging and challenging those guys and people around you to apply it to their lives as well. So setting aside fear to turn hardship into grace, that's what we're going to be focusing on today. You can read that content in the episode. I'll include a link that will take you directly to the F3 Nation website, where you can check this out. And they have some great resources and tools that will help you think and plan and really reflect on these things. So, guys, that is the show for us today. It's more of a short and sweet version. Like I said before, I am bummed that I did not have my conversational co-pilots, Blindside and OnStar, with me. They are out there doing some awesome things in the world of education and teaching and translation and facilitation, out in their vocations, also out in F3. So miss you guys. TCLAPs to those guys, though. They are doing some incredible things behind the scenes for F3 Knoxville and the city of Knoxville vocationally as well, which is really cool to see, even though it's not seen as much. So we miss you guys. I'm sure that they have some great thoughts on Q Source content. So if you work out with one of them this week or on a ruck with one of them, ask them about this. and I'm sure you'll get a great conversation with them. Guys, wherever you are this week, if you've already posted, TCLAPs to you for starting out your week with a bang and getting out there in the gloom. If you've not, guess what? It's not too late. It's only Monday. You still have plenty of opportunities to post at a workout this week to make the HC, to reject passivity and get out there in the gloom and push yourself to be a better man physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and do the exact same thing for the guys around you. Guys, it's going to be a great week. We have some great things coming up this month, next month, and as we get into the rest of the year. Don't press snooze, don't stay in bed, and don't fart sack. Get out there, push yourselves to be the men you've been called to be. Iron sharpens iron.